away because the skin cells are not behaving. They're not active, in other words. By contrast, the picture on the right shows you that with unique cellular motion, what we now call counter-oscillation, the cells begin to behave. The cells begin to move, and they all move in the same direction. And when that happens, anti-aging proteins appear in the skin. And those proteins contribute to stretching out the skin, to making sure that the skin is healthy, and the skin looks clearer, and the skin looks radiant. That's what happened when you have this new technology that the new skin scientists have discovered, and this is called counter-oscillation. Now, these are all scientific studies. Perhaps I may have an opportunity now to illustrate this point in a more compelling manner. Let me use a toy to show you what I mean. Without counter-oscillation, this is a toy, this is a bag with some liquid and two little balls sitting inside the bag. Let's assume and imagine those two little balls represent skin cells. With a bristle or a brush technology, nothing happens. The skin cells don't move. The skin cells don't line up. They're just inert. In other words, once I mentioned to you, they're not producing anti-aging proteins. They're not helping the skin to stay healthy. By contrast, when we then use this toy and put this device, this counter-oscillating device on it, you can see those two yellow balls are moving very vigorously now. This is what actually illustrates what we did in our scientific studies. The cells are lining up, the cells are being stimulated, the cells are beginning to produce the anti-aging proteins. This is the magic of what we discovered with this particular technology. Now, I'll show you. Thank you. So, looking at the skin, here's a cartoon. When you move the device over the skin surface, you notice on the surface there's a shiny layer. That is to represent the treatment cleansing gel that we have developed to be used in conjunction with this particular technology. The reason why we have to develop this new gel was based on the reality and based on the observation. Every time we use a generic or a common gel, the device doesn't work as well. The technology doesn't stimulate the skin cells to produce those proteins. It just doesn't seem to work as well. Something has to be gripping that surface or the device when it moves across the skin surface. So we had to spend lots and lots of time, our scientists, to formulate the right thickness of the gel and putting in the right active ingredients into the gel to help this technology to work 100% effective. And as the dirt is being removed, you also notice in this graphic that the skin is being massaged. I mentioned to you, massaging the skin in a special manner, in a particular sort of counter-oscillating action, you will get those skin cells to produce these anti-aging proteins. I'm not just saying that. I actually have a scientific study to demonstrate that these proteins are being produced in much larger amounts than without counter-oscillating. This is another scientific study. You can see each panel of the chart shows the production of one particular anti-aging protein type. The first one is biglycan, that's a technical name, but nonetheless, just focus on 4 of those proteins that we measured. These are very important anti-aging proteins. On 4 of them, each and every time, after counter-oscillating action on the skin, we can see more than 4 or 5 times production of these anti-aging proteins. Clearly, we have demonstrated and we have proven that this counter oscillation is a unique technology that can stimulate the skin cells. Nothing else that we have tried can actually produce these kinds of benefits. Now, this is what you cannot see. This is what only scientists can measure. What does it mean when you take this technology onto a clinical study? A clinical study, for all intents and purposes, is a study when we apply the technology and ask various people to use it on their face and see what happens. And this is what happened in another clinical study. And that is that every time a person uses this technology on the skin, even after just one time, we can see a dramatic and significant improvement of all the attributes that we expect a healthy skin to have. For example, it's smoother after one time. It's softer, the skin. The texture is less rough. The face is much purer. It's much cleaner. And more importantly, when you use this technology every day for the next 12 weeks, we started to see that the face, these benefits or these attributes continue to go up, continue to improve even more. We've never seen such dramatic improvement over a course of 12 weeks. So, as Kevin will come out later and tell you, I mean, this translates to an incredible product, and if you put it into a product that can actually be used in a half-face demo within minutes. So, first time use, you see improvements. 12 weeks later, or 12 weeks later, you see even more improvement. When you look at a face, and you see, that person's face is very smooth. What you are actually seeing is the reduction in pore size. So that's another attribute that we will investigating to see whether this technology can actually improve pore size. It did. As you can see in this particular cartoon, that when you put the device, the technology, and the device with this unique cellular motion technology over and move it across the surface of the skin, it starts to drive all the dirt, not just on the surface of the skin, but deep inside the pores, and drive all that dirt and debris out of the pores. When that happens, the pores revert or return back to its original size. It becomes smaller. In fact, in some of the studies that we have observed, the skin, the pore size, are about the size of the pores that you find on the baby's skin. So we have achieved another important benefit with the counter-oscillating technology. I've mentioned to you that the device doesn't work, or this technology doesn't work as well, if it doesn't grip the skin in a special way. And in order to sort of achieve that grip, we had to develop these treatment cleansers. So these treatment cleansers that you are going to get together with the technology, it allows to clean the pores, as I already have mentioned to you, and it also renews the skin. This dual action of skin renewal together with deep pore cleansing together will result in the skin being smoother, in the skin being softer, and the skin will become clearer. And overall, your face will look radiant after using this counter-oscillating technology device. So once again, we have proven that this device really works. It works deep in the skin cells. It also, because of that action, the cellular action, it translates to wonderful benefits on the skin that you can visibly see. I'll show you a few photographs in this instance. And after the first use, these are photographs taken after one time, after 2 minutes of using this technology. The skin already looks smooth. But we were not satisfied to just looking at the face. We wanted to see really, truly, whether we have achieved what we say the benefits are going to be with this technology. So we took a special microscope that can take dark pictures. And if there is any dirt or if there is any roughness on the surface of the skin, this special microscope and camera attached to it will show up those kinds of deficiencies as white dots. So you can see that black picture in the middle, just below the eye. On the left is before the use of the technology. You can see lots of white dots. In fact, those white dots are merging together. They're forming one streak, and there are many, many of them on the skin surface, confirming what we can see under normal light. After using counter-oscillating technology, you can see that literally very few white dots present. After one time, not several times, after first use, your skin is already looking smoother and looking much better. Let me show you another picture. Same thing in this other person. Lots of white dots before the counter oscillation, and after using it one time, the dots disappear. Clearly, I think we have enough scientific proof to back up and to substantiate what I'm telling you today. This technology really works. So we have talked about all these benefits, and it's wonderful on the skin. And sometimes, without you knowing it, other technologies can do damaging effects on the skin as well. And this usually can be seen, or in fact, without you knowing it, happens with brush or bristle technology. Rather than me describing how harsh and how damaging the bristle technology is, let me show you a video. This is an experiment that we did using some gelatin that has the same kind of consistency as skin, if you will. So anything that happens in this particular video, that's likely to be seen also if you use it on actual skin. So let's play the video, if you please.
Dañan nuestra piel, sobre todo estos cepillos eléctricos, y aquí podemos ver cómo con el nuevo Lumispa nuestra piel queda limpia, tiene un tratamiento interno, cierra los poros, elimina las células muertas, incrementa la renovación celular sin dañar la piel.
The brush technology devices exactly and according to the manufacturer's instruction. We used the gel that it came with it. We did not apply more pressure with the brush technology devices relative to the counter oscillating device. We use it exactly. In fact, we were so careful. We measured the pressure that we push down on the gelatin with a pressure gauge. Same pressure. And yet, look at the results. Far harsher with brush technology. It damages skin. There is no doubt that when you see some irritation with a brush technology, this is what's happening. So there you go. In addition to those incredible benefits that I have described with this technology, it's also very, very gentle. That dual action of deep cleansing with gentleness has never been seen before with any other skincare technology. Now, I've been telling you a lot of wonderful things about this technology. You know, I'm obviously biased. I'm like a mother. I don't call my baby ugly. My wife especially, right? There's no mother in the world who's gonna go out and say, that is one ugly baby that I just gave birth to. That's not gonna happen. So this technology is like a baby to all of us in Nu Skin, especially among the scientists. So don't take my word for it. So we decided that it is much better if we take this and give it to a professor in a university. This is a professor of dermatology. She's world-renowned. She's very famous. She has done hundreds and hundreds of product testing for many, many other companies. She has looked at lotions. She has looked at creams. She has looked at all kinds of skincare technologies. Okay? So she knows what to look for. And she is not going to be prejudiced. If she sees something that is negative, she's going to say it. She's going to let us know. She's not going to hide it. So, we have given this technology to her, and we asked her, what do you think? And this is part of the interview that was filmed, and I'd like to share that with you. Her name is Professor Zoe Draelos, and she's a professor at Duke University in North Carolina. So let's play the video, if you may.
Bristle brush cleansing of the face does not work as well because the bristles basically poke the skin and cannot produce firm pressure without damaging the skin itself. The advantage of the silicone head with the unique pattern and the counter-oscillating technology is that it pushes across the skin surface, allowing cleansing to occur at the depth of the pore, which is where most of the environmental debris, makeup, and other dirt accumulates on the skin surface. And this is not possible with bristle brush technology. So I think what's most unique about this device is there is an immediate consumer perceived benefit after one use. But many facial cleansing devices, that's where improvement stops. But with this device, you continue to see improvement on into 2 weeks that the consumer can see in terms of better skin smoothness. But then you also see improvement over 12 weeks of skin attributes as well. So that's the long-term benefit. And of course, those improvements probably continue on beyond that.
There you go.